horen ook. Unmute. Hoor je mij? Hallo, hallo? Oh. Start video, proberen we dat. Is er weer video? Ah, dat werkt al. Maar ik kan... Oh, raar.
Ik ga afleggen, hè?
Ja, nu? Oké, dankjewel. Je zegt het wel even als ik iets moet zeggen, toch?
Ja, absoluut.
Oké, super.
All right, so good morning for everybody that's already joining this session. We are still waiting for some others that were registered. So as usual, we're going to start 1 minute late so that everybody has the possibility to join. So if you want to grab a glass of water or coffee, you still have time. All right. So we're just going to give it a couple of more seconds and then we're going to start off. Just going to start my introduction already. So good morning and welcome to this webinar of Maverick AV Solutions and then Lenovo. Very excited to be doing this, and then we're also having Catherine over, so she will be my co-host on this session. So if you have any specific questions that I might not be able to answer you around Lenovo and the way they do things, she's the perfect person to help you. She's running the Smart Office. Smart Think Office product line, so everything that involves meeting rooms. Yeah, we're just going to start off, and as always, I'm gonna, for those of you that maybe do not know who we are Maverick AV Solutions, and we're a part of Tech Data. And what's really cool is that we're actually the division that helps everything that involves audiovisual products. So that means your displays, your cabling, and your mounts, something that's very hot right now with all the remotes working and the video conferencing that's popping up. And we have that expertise, but more importantly, and this is becoming such a big piece of our portfolio, is everything that's around collaboration, compute units, video conferencing, based on unified communication. So where Microsoft Teams and Zoom come into play. And that's actually 1/3 of our portfolio right now. So it's a really big part. And once you start talking, and this is the great thing that we're part of Tech Data, and once you start talking about how you put those devices into your meeting spaces, you will very easily come into conversations with partners around how do I secure this, how do I manage this, and how do we look at this from an IT context. And then being one of the biggest IT distributors worldwide, so we do have a lot of expertise, not myself, but my colleagues, and I can ask pretty much everything I need to know around cloud IoT and the licenses you'll need to run those devices. Today we'll be talking about the smart meetings portfolio. Just for information, if you have any questions around smart signage, we also have a guy for that. His name is Michael. Just contact me, but this is not the point of this webinar. And that's actually very short who we are within Maverick. And it's always good to have to put a face to the people you have on the telephone or the people that you're talking with. So really short, this is our team. And we're still looking for somebody, by the way. So if you might know somebody that's looking for another challenge, please be the duck and come join us. This is our portfolio, and what we're looking here is that where you have all those classic AV brands like Epson, like NEC, like Smart and Philips. We also have Lenovo, and it's very cool because a couple of years back we wouldn't be talking with Lenovo in our audiovisual business, and now there's such a big piece of what we're going to do, of what we're doing now and what we're going to do in the future. And then again, we have all those brands that can support all the pieces that you need to put a puzzle together to actually promote these kind of products. And as you can see, we already have some products of Lenovo in our portfolio. Very excited about this one. I don't know if you're following, but you've probably been following Microsoft Inspire, which was yesterday, and then I think some sessions today also. If you see the focus they're putting on the calling and meeting part of Teams, and where this type of device fits in. So it's a new device category launched by Microsoft. It's huge that we can have Lenovo as first to market in our portfolio. So I actually bought one myself, so I have it right here. Well, you cannot see it with my background, but I've been testing it ever since February, so I know it works pretty well. And actually this one, you've probably seen already. These are the Hub 500s, so the ThinkSmart Hub 500, which are coming pre-configured in Teams and Zoom. And this is new. We have the thin clients, the tiny editions that are specifically built for meeting room equipment, for as well Teams as Zoom. So a lot to talk to you about, and we're going to go into depth a bit on all those kind of things. But first off, I would like to talk to you about Microsoft Teams, because we see Teams as a very big opportunity. If you see how Teams has been growing the last couple of months, and I think they launched an update yesterday or this night. So if you go to your Teams client, you do a manual update, you will get all the new features that have been announced during Microsoft Inspire. And also for the room systems, there was an update, just FYI. But if you look at it, Teams is a very big part of how people are starting to work together and collaborating. And this is actually the solution that we see a lot of motion on right now. It's the Microsoft Teams room. And why? Because it's very easy to use. You have your ad hoc meeting room experience. So you can call somebody, you can schedule your room and actually have a one button join experience. You come into your meeting space, press one button, and all the bells are ringing, the display starts, the camera starts, and you can go and do your thing very easily. So user experience is actually key in making this a successful solution, excuse me. And yeah, if you look at, again, what Microsoft has been telling the past couple of days during Inspire, they're really gonna pump some energy into this kind of solutions and really go and bring some new features to it, which we all would like very much. And this is just basically what's doing. What is a Teams room? So the Hub 500 in this case would be your center of room control. So it's an interactive display that you put on in the center of your meeting space, as you can see here. And actually, this is connected to your AV installation, and your display and your camera, they might differ depending on the size of your meeting room, but the way that you use the technology will always be the same way for everybody in every room. And that's actually a key takeaway. Also, when you add, and this is again the magic of Teams Room, when you add a direct routing, or you're adding phone system, or you're linking your SBC to your Teams environment, you also get the possibility to use your infrastructure to host call meetings, or add people through PSTN lines, or just calling them by telephone, which is really, really cool. And then some other features that I find very interesting and little people know, but this is actually everything that I'm telling right now, that I'm explaining right now, is Teams Room experience, and works plug and play with the Lenovo Hub 500. So you just take it out of the box, you set it up, it takes like 15 minutes maximum. I've done it myself a couple of times. And you can have all this experience. So this is one that I really like. So it's a proximity-based meeting join, which actually means if you're having your smartphone, or you're having your laptop, and you're coming into a meeting space, automatically you will pair through Bluetooth with the Hub 500 and your personal device, and it will have you, it will actually make it more easy for you to join a meeting or to start presenting. This is also a way, this is also, by the way, a way to wireless present without using something like, I don't know, ClickShare or an Airtame or some kind of solution. You can also have wireless presenting through the Teams. This is an old picture. So right now you can have up to 9 people. And maybe this is already an old picture with 9 people. So we know that there is lots of things coming. Again, and this is also something I like, the devices that are developed by Lenovo, they have put some thought into it, and how it will evolve through time. So it also has two display outputs, let's say, and then you can easily set up this kind of setup where you have 2 displays to separate your video signal and your content signal. And this is actually something that don't many customers don't really realize at the moment, but this adds so much value to your solution, because the reason why we are using video conferencing is that we can see and hear each other better, and specifically the seeing part. So right now I'm probably just a little square in the bottom of your screen, but wouldn't it be more better if you could see my movements and the way that I talk on a separate display? Well, you can have this kind of experience with the Microsoft Teams room, and even have some interactivity, which is not the primary goal of having the video conferencing unit. But if you really want to use the Microsoft Whiteboard in combination with the Microsoft Teams room, you can do it just by adding an interactive display into the mix. And then this is also a really nice feature. We see a lot of end customers and a lot of companies still working with flip charts and whiteboards and ideation walls. And you just might want to have that digitalized in some way, not really have it as a whiteboard that you can send around to co-create, but just making your points across in a more, I don't know, more specific way. This is actually the content camera that you can add on top of your Teams room. So you just pick a camera that's certified. So I think the Brio of Logitech is the certified camera right now to have this AI content enablement. And actually, once you start writing, it will pick up your ink and digitalize it and put it in front of you, blurring you out as a person. So when you're writing, it does not change the way that you behave normally. It just adds on to your normal behavior and adds so much more to the video conferencing meeting. And again, simplicity is key in this kind of situation. So this is for you as an IT admin, so I've left it. So it's not that difficult to set up, but this is really cool. So you have 2 buttons, one that will show you the HDMI source that you're putting in, and one that will show you the content camera. So it's very easy for an end user to use this advanced technology. And then this is the big one. This just got launched, I think, 2 days ago. The direct guest join with Cisco. So this will be live very soon. It's in the newest MTR update. Zoom, we're still waiting on that. So it's that we were still expecting that. But being able to have a direct guest join with Cisco on a Teams native experience, that's just some big news, because That's a question we from distribution get a lot. How do we enable that? Do we put a virtual meeting space on top? How do we manage that? Do we equip separate rooms with a Cisco codec so that we can use those kind of scenarios? Do we have a USB pass-through scenario or an HDMI pass-through scenario? Now you can just have that experience within your existing infrastructure, and that's really cool. And then this coordinated join scenario has been announced again live, and then by the looks of it, it will be there much faster than anticipated. So Microsoft, and this is a Teams story, so this is not that much a Lenovo story, but Lenovo enables everything that Microsoft envisions, so that's really cool. So Microsoft envisions, if you want to have a video conferencing situation, you just use your Hub 500, you use your Microsoft Teams room. If you want to have a collaboration first, 100% collaboration meeting, you use your Surface Hub. And you might want to be struggling, how do I set this up with different displays, and where do I put my interactive panel, and where do I put my normal conferencing panel, which camera will I use? It can become a bit more complex when you think about it. And actually this scenario is coordinated join, which will allow you to set up a meeting room where you can just come in with a Surface Hub, connect to your Microsoft Teams room, and actually have a triple display layout, having your video, your content, and your interactivity ready just by switching on a button. And this is some really big news, because this this enables your end users so much more into doing all this kind of really cool stuff, I'm going to say. So I haven't told you this, but if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A. If we can answer them live, we will do so. If not, we will take some time to come back to that and then talk to you about your questions. And then this Zoom rooms. Zoom, probably everybody's heard of Zoom. Zoom is really really coming up. We have a couple of great resellers that are active in the Zoom space. And if you see how they've grown from 30 million to 300 million meeting attendees, that's tremendous. Imagine you waking up next morning and seeing your numbers tenfolded, which is huge. And actually, Zoom, for those of you that do not know the story, Eric Yuan is actually the guy that helped invent Cisco WebEx, and then actually left the company to start up his new video service, his video cloud service, which is called Zoom. And actually, they're doing such a great work on facilitating video conferencing. They really think about bandwidth issues. They put specific servers around the world to optimize their video conferencing, and they have a lot of great features that really drive the solution. And what actually the Microsoft Teams room does for the Teams environment, the Zoom room does for Zoom. So it means that you get a meeting room which is pre-equipped with using the Zoom platform, and actually also enabling you to do sort of the same things, but maybe from a video calling perspective, even more powerful than Teams, because there is a lot of legacy codecs behind that allow you to connect to other infrastructure. But you have Zoom Phone, so that's actually your direct routing story that you can use. You can invite a calendar. You have your one-button join experience. You can call everybody that is known in your contact list. So if you want to call Benjamin, I don't know, you just put in his name and then you can contact him very easily just by a push of the button. There's also wireless presenting. So you have your wireless presenting via Zoom, which goes online, or you have your wireless presenting through AirPlay, or you can add something like a barcode click share or another wireless presenting solution that you just put into the HDMI in source, and then you get a very multi-user story. And what I also like about Zoom rooms is that within your license of Zoom, you have the opportunity to also put scheduling displays. So you just take the URL of your Zoom room, you connect it to your Android tablet or your Apple, your iOS tablet, and then you just have a room booking display. Or if you want to have digital signage, and this is a question we get a lot, we want to have a digital signage display where we have normally our meeting room display, because When it's idle, it's just a black screen. Nobody likes a black screen. We want to have it animated with some pictures. You can just upload that to the Zoom Room portal, and then you get a sign-in display also. And what's really great is that you do not have to think about, I need to add another PC, I need to add another license. It's just all included. And the hardware driving this is actually the ThinkSmart Hub 500. So now this is the Lenovo part. So we've talked about platform, we've talked about what's possible. Now let's talk about how you make things possible. So by using the ThinkSmart Hub 500, you get that all-in-one integrated meeting room solution. So there's a PC base, which you can see here, that's connected to a touch tablet, and you buy it in a configuration with Windows 10 IoT Enterprise, which is pre-deployed with a Zoom room or a Microsoft Teams room. So there are two flavors, so to speak. And again, the user friendliness and all the experience that we've talked about are just available at one touch of the button. And then this is also things that they've really thought about and that I really like. So you have the ring that indicates whether you're in a call, whether you're active or you're almost going into a call. You can pivot the display very easily. So when you put it on a meeting room, everybody has the possibility to use the display. And there's a cable locking mechanism. So cable locking, I don't know how many of you are installing and then having issues with cables being torn loose by end users because something is not working the way they want it to work. We love cable locks, right? There's also a proximity sensor built in. So that means if you're not using the meeting room, it will go idle. It will go into a hibernation mode. Once you enter the meeting room, it will start and it will automatically put on your display and start up your camera so that you're ready to go and have your meeting. And this is for the tech guys. This is the background, the back end, so you can see all the connections. So there's lots of USB ports, so you can connect maybe different cameras if you want to, or you can connect the AI cam, and also two HDMI out ports. So that means you can very easily have a double display layout. And an HDMI in. So every Zoom room or Microsoft Teams room solution requires you to also have an HDMI cable that you need to put into your display or into your infrastructure in order to have a presentation mode. So this is all been taken care of very easily. And then you just fix the bracket and you screw it tight. So there's no way anybody without a screwdriver and knowledge can open your back or your cables. And then when we look at it, and this is something you might recognize from Logitech, because Logitech have done such a great job into, how do you say, commoditizing this meeting room experience. So small rooms, medium rooms, large rooms. Very good news, because Lenovo also works with Logitech. And actually, these are the kind of setups that you can easily set up. So for the smaller huddle room, depending on the size and depending on what budget is and requirements of your customer, you can either choose the Logitech Brio setup or Logitech Meetup setup. And the Logitech Meetup is, for example, it's a 120-degree wide-angle camera that's all-in-one, speaker, microphone, suited for meeting spaces up to 7 to 8 people. And then once you go bigger than that, we come into the medium and large room scenarios. And as you can see, we are changing the layout of the room. We're shifting from 2 to 3 people to maybe 25 people in a meeting space. And we're not changing anything about the IT component. This stays the same around manageability. And that's also something that I didn't put it in. I was doubting yesterday evening, should I put it in already or not? Because Microsoft also announced, for example, for this Teams experience, manage rooms. So which means that you can also manage from a distance through your Teams admin channel, all your devices. These are certified, so everything will work in the future as well. But your camera component, your compute component stays the same throughout every different scenario. And then with Logitech Radikit Plus, for example, you can add up to 7 microphones, 2 speakers, and you can have a meeting room for 40 people if you want. And then this is also a really cool camera. This is the Hudley Hudley is a Scandinavian startup, and we also see a lot of projects falling with Lenovo and Hudley, which is really great because it's really powerful camera. I have it here somewhere, but I can't find it. And it also does AI framing, so it's actually suited for rooms up to 8 people. And what's really cool is that your Lenovo has 2 microphones built in, so you don't need to think about a separate microphone or something like that for the smaller rooms. And once you get into really big rooms, you might want to change your microphoning and your speaker setup. I'm going to talk to you a bit about that later. But actually, this is a plug-and-play solution. So you have your speaker optimized, you have your microphone optimized for Teams calling. So and this is the largest part of installations that we're seeing for the huddle space. You can just pick your Hub 500 and a camera, and you're set. You can start installing really easily. And this is just some wiring, very rudimentary, I know, but just how we set it up. So if you're using the Logitech Rally, you get 2 hubs that are delivered with it. So the display hub and the table hub, which are connected through a UTP Cat6e cable. And actually, you just connect the Lenovo Hub 500 to the table hub. You take your wire, your cable, your UTP cable to the other end of the meeting room, or you patch it through a switch or a patch unit. And at the other end, you just connect the HDMI camera, and you can really easily install a room that has a decent size with a double display layout. And if you have any questions about this in detail, please let us know. The display part and the mounting part and the cabling part is something that we really know as a specialized AV distributor. And then, yeah, you just let Lenovo do the magic in the back end. Another way for you to do this is by actually using something like USB-C dock. It's a really good workaround for maybe a more complex installation. So there's a USB-C dock, which is part of the Lenovo portfolio, that runs on a USB-C connection. But a USB-C connection that also transfers all the data that you'll need to set this kind of situation up. Again, double display with your camera. And we've used the DSP here, which could be I don't know, tiny microphones, or could be specific speakers that have been installed maybe a couple of years back by somebody, and then you just want to use it. If it connects to USB, it's unified, so you can connect it to Lenovo Hub 500, and then off you go. So there are many different ways of cabling, and these are 2 that I really like. And then as any great IT supplier, they have a lot of services. They have a lot of expertise in managing and doing the warranty. So all these devices that are built for the meeting room have a 3-year warranty on site, which means if it's broken, they just come on site, repair it, or replace it. And there are also different settings if you want to have, for example, a specific built, which is not the case with the Hub 500. But if you want to have a specific, I don't know, tagging onto your devices, if you're doing, I don't know, a European deployment, we can just put that into the story. We can just help with that. And Lenovo also has a lot of services, and I think Catherine knows way more about that than I will ever will. So if you have specific questions around that, please do so. But also what I really like is training. Those of you that have followed my sessions before, I'm a really big fan of end user training and adoption. So you can offer the full package either with Lenovo or with Tech Data, but I'm going to come back to that later. And then the next big chunk in this presentation is actually the ThinkSmart Edition Tiny. I've highlighted some things, again, pre-built Windows 10 IoT Zoom Room or Teams Room preloaded. Triple display layout, so for your high-end Zoom rooms, which require a triple display layout, everything's foreseen. You just plug it in and it will work. And again, standard 3-year on-site and Premier support. And this is just the compute unit you'll need to set up your AV installation, either in Teams or either in Zoom. To specify, in order to be a Microsoft Teams room, you need to have a certified touch display controller. At the moment, this is not available with Lenovo yet, but there is a partnership with Logitech. Like I said you before, those kind of big vendors are working together to bring to market the solutions that are really hot right now. So there's a base bundle with the Logitech Tab, which I'm sure everybody has heard of because it's all Tab these days. But this means that if you've bought I don't know, a Tab before, and you're saying this NUC unit, I don't really like that it's an Intel NUC. We want to have something enterprise grade. Not that I'm saying that the NUC is bad, but there's a lot of offer to be sold also with the Lenovo base. And actually, you can just now buy this like you would do with any other Logitech bundle. So this is really cool. And actually, this is again a rudimentary scheme on how you can connect it very easily. So you just connect your PC unit, a camera, and then the USB-C cable, which is 10 meters long, to your Tab unit, and you have a Microsoft Teams Zoom equipped. Zoom Room allows a little bit more freedom in how you of how you connect components. So there's an Android, there's a Lenovo tablet. So many of you know, and I also had this Lenovo smartphone. Lenovo has smartphones, tablets. So actually with the Lenovo tablet, you can have a Zoom Room. You can build a Zoom Room with all Lenovo parts except for the camera piece. But this really offers great experience, to be honest. And yeah, this is what customers are requiring. And my personal feeling is that people that are working with Zoom, they tend to look for winning combinations based upon hardware, and they might want to have specific components into that build. And that's just the freedom that you have working with Zoom. And this is probably a double slide, but again, this is the layout of the Lenovo Tiny Edition. So as you can see, there is a lot of connectivity. So there's a lot of freedom to set up the room as you want. You can see USB-C is also available, your triple output, your input. So if you want to test this out, we have these in stock, so you can order them. And then what we see now is that there are a couple of resellers that are selling the normal thin clients, so the Lenovo thin client, and not the Tiny Edition. So why would you sell the Tiny Edition instead of the normal thin clients of Lenovo? It's not wrong to do so, but you get a lot of more bang for your buck when you go with the Tiny, because it's built for meeting room infrastructure. It's built for heavy usage. It comes preloaded, so you might want to save some time on imaging your product. You have your 3 years on-site support, and that's worth a lot to your end customer. And you have your easy triple display layout. So for the higher complex rooms, it's no brainer to choose the Lenovo ThinkSmart Tiny Edition. But there is no right or wrong in that space. And then this is really huge. This is first to market. So we're very happy to be working with Lenovo from a European perspective, also with Maverick and Tech Data. And this is the link to the announcement. But Microsoft launched a new device category based upon these kind of devices, the Microsoft Teams display. So what that is saying is that we have a lot of more features to come. So I had a session with Ilya, who's running those kinds of Teams devices recently, and there is a roadmap that's really wow. So I'm not going to spoil anything, but I can't actually. But there are really great things to come. This is the new screenshot of the layout. So where now the ThinkSmart view is a personal, and that's the real good thing about it. Have you ever had that Teams call when you were working on your laptop, you get called and you lose all connectivity to the Word document that you're doing, the presentation that you were preparing, or the mails that you're doing? We see so many people mailing during a Teams call, and actually that isn't possible because how you say it, you're using your laptop as your meeting room device. So with the ThinkSmart View, you can just add a simple, and it's not that expensive. I think it's 300 euros or 250 euros. So you can just add that in a personal space, a home office or a commute space, connect yourself, have your calling lists and having your connectivity to your Microsoft Teams environment very easily. And right now it's only based upon the calling, the audio and the video part. But in the future, you will also have the possibility to open, for example, documents or using Cortana to dictate, hey, I want to call with Benjamin again. So, hey, Cortana, call Benjamin, and it will all automate, and that's really good to see. And oh, here it is.
Sven, this is Katrine speaking. I didn't want to interrupt your flow, but the list price is €320 net.
Okay,
so
320 euro. Okay. So it's a bit higher, but not that much. Still very affordable if you look at competing products in that space that don't offer the same way of working that ThinkSmart View does. When you look at the Yalinks and the Polycoms and those of Polys. And then this is just it. So very short. It's an 8-inch touch display. You have your camera built in with a privacy shutter. So if you have security compliance issues, you can just slide something before the camera and you're safe. It has all microphone speakers built in, but obviously it's more easy to connect your Bluetooth headset, and you can also have private meetings. What I really like is the hot desking possibility. So what we're seeing is that people are coming back to the office, but not necessarily in the same way we did before. When we look at tech data, for example, we will never be with 300 people again in the same building, and we can't due to COVID, and also what has changed in the way people are working. So remote working has got adopted, but then you get hot desking. So that means that you have to equip less desks, and easily you can come in the morning, put in your credentials, put in your password, or use an easy authentication scenario, and you just pop up and you're connected very easily. And this actually some other reasons why you really should consider this. Also, we have these on stock. If you want to test it, please let us know. We are opening our experience center hopefully really soon. And we also have it there. So if you want to test it, you can do so. Or if you want to test the entire Microsoft Teams room and different scenarios with Lenovo, we can help you with that. Also, it runs on Wi-Fi. So there's only one cable connected. That's the power supply unit. All the rest is going through Wi-Fi. But it's all enterprise grade, so it's super stable, never had any issues, and I've been using it for 5 months now. And then there's also this personal PIN code, because I proposed this in a project and somebody went like, yeah, but what do you do when, so everybody can start booking your calendar. Yeah, you can do the same thing when you leave your laptop open, for example, and that's no issue, but this should be an issue. So you can add a personal PIN code. It falls asleep after 5 minutes. So there's 100% security and compliance. And it just offers so much, again, ease and user experience. And that's actually what we want to put into meeting spaces, into personal spaces, into collab spaces, because that's the way we will drive people to change the way they are working right now. And now, how to become a Lenovo partner? Of course, for bigger projects, you will need to become a Lenovo partner, because then there might be some project support, meaning you can buy it a lot cheaper, or not a lot cheaper, but a bit cheaper, in order to have a better relationship with your customer. But there's also much more. So you can have a buy and try unit, for example. If you have a project, you want to put it at a customer for, I don't know, a month or 45 days, you can do it through Lenovo. There are also specific actions or marketing efforts available through the partner channel. So if you have any interest in becoming a partner, it's very easy. You just fill out the website. I think it takes 24 hours, because I had a partner registering yesterday who said, I'm already live. So there's no reason not to do it. But maybe, Katrin, you can, if you want to put something onto this, this will be the part where I could use your help.
Sure. Yeah. So as you described, it's actually quite easy to become a partner, and Sometimes it's even faster than 24 hours. So we've done it in 2 hours, for instance. And the important part about that is that indeed, like you said, if you want to register a bid with us, then you need to be a partner in our tool. And you can already register a bid theoretically for one unit, depending on, you know, who your customer is. And Lenovo has a team of people that is continuously working with the larger end users, not selling to in the sense that there's a direct relationship, but supporting for our portfolio. And of course, they have certain agreements, and they need to know if a partner is working with that end user on smart office or think smart products. So this way, if you register your bid, there's a visibility, and then that person will contact you, and there's an understanding that you're working with that end user customer. And in addition, we also have the possibility to provide demo pricing, for instance, if you're interested in actually buying a demo unit, or even units for own use. If you look at, for instance, the Think Smart View, and you're interested to use that yourself and your team, then there's a possibility also to receive better pricing there. So yeah, let me know, let Sven know what your requirements are, and we'd be happy to help you.
All right. Very, very good. So if you have any further questions about this, as Catherine said, just contact us. I still have a couple of minutes, just want to go through this. So why Maverick? So we signed an expert distribution agreement with Lenovo, which means that we are considered to be experts in the field, which we are obviously, but that also helps us align our strategies and our ways of working with Lenovo, which means we can help you with deal registrations, we can help you set up projects. We know the people within Lenovo that we will need to support the channel. And actually, this is all the things that we do. I probably forgot some things, but one thing that I really want to add some detail to is the Maverick Smart Experience Center, our SMEC room. And that's actually something we've equipped for our customers, for our partners to bring over their end users or their end customers in order to know and see what's possible and everything that we've talked about, to really show it hands-on. And you might want to have that demo experience yourself, and then that's really good. But sometimes, you have to choose your battles. We're moving really, really fast right now. There's a lot of demand, so if you can outsource, why not? And then, this is just some images. This is an old image, I need to change it. But as you can see, if your customer is doubting, why should I use a video wall, or why should I use a display, or what's the benefit of an interactive display? We have so many technologies set up. And as you can see here, it's the Lenovo Hub 500. It's its old space. Now we've changed it. It's connected to the Rally Kit now. So we have a full fledged experience using the Lenovo Hub 500 Teams room. The Think Smart View is in there. The Tiny not yet, but we'll have a talk about that later. But we want to have everything that we're selling able to show you. And then there's a lot of services that we also add into our portfolio to support our partners. Again, these are maybe things that you do yourself, but you might not find the bandwidth to do it right now, or you're changing. You could be a Zoom user, for example, that now wants to move into the Microsoft Teams room, or you could be a Teams seller that wants to move into the Zoom opportunity. I don't know. And if you want to add on to your experience, our expertise, and we're working with a third party, a white label party, that's certified for all these kinds of technologies. We can do so very easily. And this, again, this is not to take away your business. We are distribution. We never work directly to end customers. We just want to help our customers in the best way possible. So if you want to do installation, site surveys, and you might have European projects forming, and you might want to calculate how much does it cost to fly my guy to Portugal for 3 days, or do a local installation with a Portuguese team that speaks the language and can do the adoption. It just seems like an easy fit. I mean, that's why we want to support our customers in that way. Again, adoption and training. This is heavily focused on Teams again, but that's where we see the quick wins right now. But for example, basic training, how to use the Microsoft Teams room, how to use collaboration, how to use Office or M365. We can help you with that. I see some questions popping in, so I'm almost finished, and we're gonna go through them after this. Maintenance and support. So if you want to add a service on top of your Microsoft Teams room, for example, a 24/7 support, it's possible. I know Microsoft is looking to do this Microsoft branded also. So there's a Premier management support that will come. It's been announced yesterday. But still, if you want to have more control over the installation and the maintenance of your product, we have services around that. And then something that I find really, really interesting, and this, don't stare too much at the numbers. They're just basic MSRP pricing that I took of InTouch. But this is a conversation that's happening a lot now, and I see a lot of projects. One, because you just start a conversation. It's logical. So you're an end user and you pay 55 euros for your licensing. You pay 15 euros for your Teams room, and you pay 5 euros extra for your infrastructure. And that's just a logical fit on selling these kind of solutions. And also, we're now coming back to the office after being homeworked or being locked down. It's a wrong word, but being working from home. There is a need to equip meeting rooms, but at the same time, there might be some cash deficits, or there might be some issues to have it as a capital investment. Just propose it as an operational expense. It's just, you can have, there's an InTouch tool where you can just put in your pricing that you want to sell. You add your installation, you add your services, your managed services, and you just calculate how much it will cost in 3 to 5 years, how much it will cost per month, how much it will cost per employee. So there's a tool on InTouch. If you don't want to use InTouch, you can just send it to us or to Steven Ridder, who is owning this piece of financial services, and you will get a quote very easily. What's also really great about this is that we have the possibility to quote ourselves, which means that if you go to a financial institution that does an as a service proposition, they will probably say, yeah, you can't, 15,000 euros or 20,000 euros, that's too little. We don't want to put our time into that. You can do it via us, so we can support you from projects up, I think, up to 10K, starting at 10K. We can start supporting you. And we see a lot of motion around this right now. Just know that we can help you with that. And I think that's it for me today. So I'm the contact for Maverick right now. Yeah, tries to bridge together that piece where IT and AV meet. And if you have any questions around what I've told you today, please let me know. And I see some questions popping in. Is it possible to have only one device which can use Teams and Zoom? Very great question, Serge. No, there is no endpoint right now that you can buy pre-built that allows you to have a Teams and a Zoom room experience, because both softwares are certified in a specific way. And also that means that you will need to have, technically you could have a pre-boot scenario that will boot either in Teams or either in Zoom, but there is no easy way to doing that. There is third-party software that allows you to bring together those experiences. We, within Tech Data, we use Quick Launch for that. And you could technically do that on any Windows 10 PC. So you could use a normal thin client, Lenovo thin client, install Quick Launch onto it, and have some sort of similar way of working. But there is no pre-built unit that can either boot in Teams or either boot in Zoom, and vice versa. I cannot register. Yeah.
So just one note to what you've been saying, the certification, I think, is key in that. Of course, we would like to sell products that are certified by Microsoft and certified by Zoom. And that has been a discussion in the past of, when you bring a product to market that can do both, will you still receive the certification? And some of the end users are also very, very focused on having a certification from Microsoft. And I think that's the catch there.
Yeah. And also something I know that this is a question I get a lot. How do we combine the multi-platforms? In many cases, it's just explaining your customer also how things work. For example, if you're running a Teams environment, that does not mean that you cannot connect to other people that are outside of your company that might not be using Teams. We're hoping, and then this will come. It's just a matter of time to have the guest join experience with Zoom, and then actually you can run much more on your Teams device. But where I see it, Zoom is a video oriented solution, while Teams is a productivity collaboration solution, and the AV part is just a piece of that. So depending on what your customer wants to do, it might be better for him to go to Zoom for his communication part, but stay on Microsoft Productivity Suite, Office 365 and Teams for his collaboration part. But all is changing very fast, and I think these are discussions that you need to have with your customer, and we can also help you with that if you want. And then I also see that Serge cannot register as a partner on the website lenovopartner.com. Have I made a typo? Could it be that the link is wrong, Katrin?
No, actually, that's fine. I'm not
Okay.
sure what's going on there, but usually I mean, there's a request that needs to be filled in, and then it goes to us, and then we take a little bit of time, and then you're in. So if you could send me the details,
Yep.
then I will make sure that that goes through.
Sergio, what I suppose what I want to ask you, can you just send me an email that I have your credentials, and I will send that to Katrin or the Lenovo team to look into your registration, to have that followed up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is actually we've passed the 45 minutes. But this is actually the piece that we've prepared. I don't know if there are any more questions that you want to have or you want to ask right now. I also, if you now think about this while you're doing the rest of your day, and there are some questions popping up that you're saying, hey, wait, he didn't tell me that, or could I do that? Just let me know, send an email, we can have a private meeting. And if there are any specific questions that I cannot answer, we will bring in an expert from Lenovo, that's no issue. So know that we are very committed to making this work, and we know that there are many beautiful products and also many more to come in the Lenovo ThinkSmart Office range. I haven't even talked about webcams and headsets they're now selling. So, but choose your battles, only 45 minutes. I want to thank you for your time that you've dedicated today. And I hope this has added something onto your knowledge. And if there are any questions, please let me know and we will gladly help you. So I'm wishing you a very good rest of your day and stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.